Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is two strange stories to come out of Lanarkshire in the last 48 hours, which are a bit weird, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, and I don't like the direction of travel and how we report crime. So the two stories are of a sexual nature. One of them includes I can't say the word that starts with a R and it rhymes with grape, because you end up getting your video taken down from social media, of a 17-year-old in Sandy Park area of Bellshill. And this horrific crime, the police have identified two people that they want to talk about the incident, and they've asked the public for help in trying to identify these two men. And the way they've done it is just bonkers, right? And the other one is about a man who has exposed himself, public indecency offences, again in Lanarkshire, and this time in Hamilton, 2 days apart, 2 days this month, the 7th and the 9th of the month. And the way the media are reporting this is a bit weird as well. And I don't know what type of people these are that have committed and potentially committed, allegedly is probably the safest word to use, allegedly committed these two crimes. But the way that, first of all, the police are asking for help, and second of all, how the media or information they've withheld from another one, I'm finding it difficult to swallow, to be perfectly honest with you. So the first story, the most horrific of the two, is about this girl, 17, and the apparent sexual assault of her. And this has been covered by a few media outlets, and I'm just going to use the BBC as for this one. And it's the same coverage in all of them. They quote the same things from Police Scotland, and it's the quotes from Police Scotland that are more important to me than what outlet covered it, to be perfectly honest with you. So their headline is, "Police hunt two men after teenage girl," that word that I can't use, "in a park." Police are looking for two men after a teenage girl was, I'll use the word, sexually assaulted in a park in North Lanarkshire. The 17-year-old was attacked between 8:30 and 9 o'clock on Sunday in Sandy Park area of Bellshill. This is a bonkers bit. Right? This is a bit you've really got to listen to and think, what's going on here? Officers are looking for two men aged about 30 who were in the area at that time. One man was described of being medium build, and the other was wearing grey work-type trousers. Detective Inspector Lorraine Wilson said anyone who has seen these men is asked to contact the police immediately. Police Scotland said it was aware the incident was concerning for local community. The force said there would be an increased police presence in the area and encouraged anyone with concerns to speak to the officers. Now, what happens here is, if you've seen something that day, and it wasn't the actual physical thing of the girl, but you might have seen these guys getting into the area, you might have seen them coming out the area, you might be able to help with a description of a car, you might be able to help with the direction they came from or the direction they went to, which might help identify where they live. Then the police want to trigger things in your memory to go, I remember them. Now, if you ask for help from the public and look for a guy that's medium build or a guy wearing grey trousers, it's quite frankly ridiculous, right? Now, I don't know who gave them the description. It may have been somebody who witnessed it. It may have been, unfortunately, the young girl herself. But whoever it was, I'm quite sure would have been able to give the police more of a description than one was medium build and the other one had grey trousers. Because if you can notice, for example, somebody's build or the colour of their trousers, and remember they were work-type trousers, I'm quite sure you would be able to remember more things about them. You might be able to say, well, they were bald, like me. They were blonde. They were ginger. They were dark-haired. You might be able to remember things like one had a beard, one was clean-shaven, one had stubble. These are things that I'm quite sure anybody who was witnessed or, unfortunately, the victim of a crime would remember, if they can remember things like one was medium built and one had grey trousers. So, I kind of think it's safe to suggest that the police are not releasing the full description of these two people that they want to talk to about this incident, when we have to remember the key thing about the whole horrific situation is the victim is a 17-year-old girl. So why don't we put out full descriptions now of people that the police are wanting the public to help them identify and give them further details? Surely, if you know anything else that you might not be telling the public about suspected criminals, it would be wise to do so. But for some reason, time and time again, we see police, and it's not just the police in Lanarkshire that work for Police Scotland. This seems to be a thing right across the board, where we're very reluctant to put out full and frank descriptions of people they're wanting to talk to who committed, by the looks of it, pretty horrific crimes. Now, if I was to commit a crime and somebody was to suggest I was a bald white guy with a stubble, that would help narrow it down to fit this physog, right? People would that would help fit the profile. If some people wanted to mention my authenticity, my beard, my hair colour, my skin colour, my clothing, you would kind of understand that. But that's not the way we get things put across by the police and the media these days. And the second thing that I came across, again, it's Lanarkshire, and it's this story about a man who's been arrested, who's been charged, and is at court today.
Staying up to date with events around the world can be difficult, where it's impossible to consult a single source for the full story. Narratives that shape public opinion often just reinforce media and corporate-backed vested interests. It's hard to know what information to trust. See what the media is exaggerating, sensationalising, over or under reporting. That's why I've been using Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if it has any political bias, how reliable the reporting is, and who owns them. They even have a blind spot feed that highlights news disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. Take a data-driven view on the news and stay current. Get news from thousands of sources worldwide in one place. I've been using Ground News to help me get all the world's news in one place and give a more balanced opinion on what we read and viewing who is telling us the truth and who isn't. Subscribe via my link to get 40% off the Vantage subscription. It's the one I use to get unlimited access to every feature. Your subscription can not only help my channel, but also help Ground News, as it makes the media landscape more transparent.
For public indecency offences in Lanarkshire. Now this guy, they were both in Hamilton, both 2 days, and a man was due to appear in court with connection to it. So the story, again, this is Glasgow Live, it's been covered under a few different outlets, and they all do the same thing. They describe the thing, and 2 days later, police officers were called to another. It says, a public were reported an indecency in Auchenwraith Avenue, Hamilton, on May the 7th. 2 days later, officers were called to another reported incident at nearby Cadzo Avenue on May the 9th. A 25-year-old man has now been arrested in connection with the alleged offences. He's due to appear at court in Hamilton today, Wednesday, May the 14th. That's today, right? A spokesperson for Police Scotland said a 25-year-old man has been arrested and charged in connection with alleged public indecency offences following reports, blah, blah, blah. He's charged. You know who he is. But we hear quite a lot of people that are charged, and they name them. Quite often we see newspaper reports telling you Craig Houston, Glasgow, 52 years of age, is today appearing at Glasgow Sheriff Court charged with blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Offences relating to ridiculous videos he puts out on Facebook or on YouTube. I don't know, but that's kind of what we're used to as the public. But for some reason, that's not how we report on a lot, not all, but a lot of cases today. And I think it's a bit smelly, to be perfectly honest with you. So if you enjoyed this video, you want others to see this video and spread the word of this video, click the thumbs up, hit some comments below, and hit the share button. Share it with your friends and family and other platforms. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. But most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person who you and your pal go and do horrible things to 17-year-olds in parks and areas in Bellshill, or want to expose yourself in areas in Hamilton, then not you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.